What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Vagrus, the Riven Realms. We're definitely taking another look at this game. We didn't get a lot of it last time. We got a lot of story, which is what the game is huge about. So I guess we did get a lot of it last time. But we're here with another episode today. Let's continue. See if we can make it to where we're headed. We don't want to force march. Let's camp. I think we'll try to hunt at this point. Yeah, let's try to give us a hunt, shall we? We can still pay him. It's red, so I feel like we can't, but I think we can. Fail! Oh no. We're gonna starve. We're fresh. The whole comitatus becomes agitated as the dust cloud appears in the east and starts to move towards you. You give orders or you could prepare for the dust storm. Such a thing is fairly common out here in the border of the Syrian plains. You should have a little trouble traversing it and make the necessary arrangements on head on south. After half an hour, the cloud is much closer and it is now certain that it will cross your path. By then, everyone is wearing protective masks or bandanas and all the cargo and equipment are secured. Javka is riding a large beast of burden and having fastened himself to its back, deep in concentration, to maintain the calmness of all your animals with his telepathic skills. But something is off. An uncanny twilight is settling on the broken plains around you. It is much too early for sunset, and the storm itself should not blot out light in such a manner. And then you hear it chanting on the wind, a pale light at the heart of the storm heading your way. You can see the faces of the crew slowly become distorted in panic. Try to flee as fast as you can. You're supposed to give the order when Sidarius walks up. What is the meaning of this, Vagrus? There's no necessity for a desperate act. It's just a dust storm. You quickly tell him about your previous encounter with the last pilgrimage. Nonsense. Chances that the pilgrims would show up again are... Sidarius just trails off as the eerie twilight falls upon the comitatus. The dust cloud envelops you all. There's no time to flee or hide, so you signal everyone to draw their weapons and stand at the ready. Some of your crew tremble, or some are praying, and some are about to break, but not Sidarius. The knight walks towards the approaching apparition as if being possessed by a death wish. You can see Javik frowning and sweating in concentration, no doubt trying to combat your beast's instinct to flee and under terror. In a few moments, you can hear the chanting and see ghastly pilgrims clearing through the curtain dust. The dust curtain. Desiccated forms and faded robes shuffling along the broken terrain, or rather over the terrain somehow, as if floating at a rapid pace. Their vacant faces are illuminated by a dreadful pale light that emanates from their hollow insides. You're paralyzed by terror. Blurred images into your mind, visions of horrid procession of living dead wearing faded robes. You walk among them. You are one of them. Is this the end? Before they could reach you, the spectral pilgrims turn left and head south along the dried-out riverbed without any apparent reason. It takes your mind a few minutes to comprehend that an unusual mercy has just been granted you and your crew. The last pilgrimage marches on, slowly disappearing into the cracked badlands beyond, taking the ghoulish twilight and the dust storm with them. It takes a good few moments for your crew and yourself to come to your senses. Did this truly happen? What was the reason, if any, for the spectral troop to change direction at the last second? How can it be explained that they appeared again after such a short time? Sidarius walks over to you looking confident, though he can see he is a bit shaken too. Sirgarad is with us. This is an omen if I've ever seen one. My destiny for retribution against the enemies of the Empire must be the reason why these horrors let us be. You swallow and nod. You're not certain why it happened the way it did. Rest assured, Vagrus, as long as you have me by your side, no harm will come to the comitatus. Remember that. He walks away, signaling the line to move along. +5 insight. Still rattled, you move along the line, assuring everyone that the danger is past. With the comitatus moving, you join Javik at the top of the largest beast of burden, but barely talk. You've never heard of anyone encountering the last pilgrimage twice. Somehow you don't feel blessed, haunted more like. After an hour or two, you and your crew fall back into your travel routines, and tonight it will all seem much less terrifying. In fact, you should be grateful for avoiding certain death at these hands of these accursed things twice in a row. Hopefully there won't be a third time. We can hope. I'll pay them later this time because we are running low. We need some stuff. Go find stuff. Fail. Oh, of course. We need stuff, you fools. It's our last day. Uh-oh. We can't pay. There we go. Look at that. We're gonna force to march it to get there. The Comitatus climbs a broken ridge and everyone stops for a moment to take in the visage of Avernum. Nestled atop around a range of large hills on the horizon to the southwest, chimneys of the city's many forges and smelters cast a dark shadow over it, while lava fields beyond the settlement provide an intense reddish glow as a backdrop. Several crude roads meander among the hills here, probably leading to the mines and the quarries you just passed during the last day or so. Time for us to part ways for a while, Vagrus. The voice of Sidarius makes you jump a little. For a large fellow wearing heavy armor, he managed to creep up on you without a sound. He is standing beside you, gazing at the horizon. I have to make my way into the city alone. My reasons are my own, but before I go, I have a proposition before you. His voice and stature tell you there's not much point in arguing. You are well aware, of course, that my contingent was betrayed and ambushed out in the wasteland where we met. During our trek back here, I have come to the conclusion that whoever betrayed us has to be someone involved in the investigation. I led an Avernum before setting out in the city. Even though I have some ideas where to start looking for traitors, the implications of this despicable betrayal are too severe to attempt to meet it head-on. I require secrecy and guile. Most of my remaining allies in the city and I are too easy to track or recognize, and those responsible could easily make evidence disappear if I'm revealed to be alive. Someone has got to provide that guile for us. After a short pause, he looks you in the eye. What I mean is that you, your friend the mage, and the rest of your crew could be vital in finding the culprits and bringing them to justice. The Empire needs your help, Vagrus. Yeah, let's agree to help him for the Empire or for gaining powerful friends. Sidarius seems somewhat surprised, perhaps disappointed even for a brief moment. Then he flashes what passes for a smile. Very well, was indeed nurturing the hope that you'd be willing to aid the Empire in this perilous predicament. We will struggle by your side just like we did near the Voiceless Lake, Vagrus, and I can assure you the Order of the Black Sun does not forget loyalty and dedication to the Empire. He slaps you on the shoulder and lets us part ways. So what is his plan? The plan for now is to make our way to Avernum separately so that you won't be associated with me at all. Rest assured that although they do not expect my return, the traders would be informed at once I had turned up the city gate, so I have to find an alternative way in. I will send for you once I'm settled in. Someone trustworthy shall appear and guide you to me. The next word makes him wince. Hideout. We'll talk about your tasks there. You ask about the belongings of your former comrades. The knight frowns. That might complicate some matters somewhat. He looks thoughtful. Take their holy symbols to the temple of Surgarod quietly. You can get rid of the weapons as you see fit, but I forbid selling them at the market. It would draw too much attention to you, and we do not want that for now. Sidarius pierces you with his gaze. Sincerely hope I can trust you with this, Vagrus. Woe betide you if you do not comply. With that, he takes his leave and waits as you signal the Comitatus to move forward. The knight remains behind to find his way into the city on his own. A quarter of an hour later, Sidarius is only a speck on the horizon as you rapidly approaching Avernum. The last stretch of the city waits before you. Sidarius is removed from your Comitatus.
Dark omens, ominous apparitions of an otherworldly covenant of spectres, a grim night out for vengeance. Time and coin running out slowly. Yet against all odds, we journeyed to the city of Avernum on the Smoulderbone Flats, a place bustling with travelers, merchants, and lowlifes. It was supposed to be a short stop on our way east, but we got more than we bargained for.
What did we get? Move. When occupying a settlement node, you can enter the settlement using the Enter button. Alright, enter. The city of Avernum. You can smell its foul stench even as you approach its mighty gates set in the dark walls, decorated with bones of gigantic creatures. The dry, sulphurous reek of the regions, so close to the molten tongue, mixes with the bitter ashen stink of the many foundries and forges in the city. Over the walls and rooftops, the chimneys of the city lean together and jumble. Buildings in the lower part of the hill are more dilapidated, while the others near the top are in better condition in general, with a walled-off villa appearing here and there. A group of guards stops you and your Comitatus moves ponderously under the gate arch. While your cargo and men are being checked, you can see several of the grim black-clad legionnaires of the Avernus Legion standing guard beneath the gate tower staring at you. Gate tax is 2 changers, the head guardsman says, after getting the confirmation from his men that everything is in order. A slave next to him bows to you and holds open a money box. Okay. Having moved through the city gate, you arrive at a cobbled plaza on the other side. You head towards the Mansio, the large inn for Comitati. Without delay, you set yourself up there and have some rest after the arduous journey. In an hour, everything is settled. Your beasts are stabled, your cargo is unloaded onto the warehouse, and most of your crew is resting already. Just as you're about to head into the common room and order a drink for yourself, Javik approaches you and draws you inside. There's someone here to see you, boss. Someone sent by our nightly friend. Says she wants to talk to you discreetly. She's waiting behind the stables, Javik says in hushed tones. It was foolish to think you'd had a chance to rid yourself of Sidarius and his agenda even for a few hours, but you have little choice. Get the messenger out. The woman waiting for you in the shadows behind the stables of the Mancio is wearing a large hood and a long cape over a dark gray featureless tunic. As you approach, she throws the hood back and reveals the marking of someone in the service of Ashkul, god of the underworld. The face painted with pale dark eyeshadow to give the impression of a skull. You suspect that she is a novice attached to the Order of the Black Sun, or an acolyte of the Church of Ashkul. The woman looks around furtively. There is nobody nearby, just you and Javik. Greetings from our mutual friend, the Knight Dominus. The young woman says quietly, after looking you in the eye, I just sit here to take you to him when you're ready. I'll wait here, just don't take too long. He's very eager to see you. From now on, you can visit Sidarius and Avernum. Before you set out, Javik draws you aside. So it would seem that we'll stay here longer than we had expected. It occurs to me that such a delay would put a strain on our resources, and I rather doubt that our knightly friend cares about that. You've considered this also. Javik goes on as you rub your chin thoughtfully. I was thinking we could smelt the scrap we bought. I know it would cost us, but hear me out. Not only does smelt the metal take up less space in the cargo hold, but it'll allow us to sell a fraction of it for a great profit here. It's a loss in the long run, but we have to pay the crew if we were to tarry here, don't we? You have to admit, he's making a lot of sense. You could smelt down the metal and sell some of the bars for an injection of coins if need be. Two of you make ready to set out. The Mancio pane is now active. Navigate to the Mancio pane by clicking on the decanter button. This is the Mancio pane. Mancios are specialized for comitati. When you rest in the Mancio, the day ends and you'll get in-day scene similar when you're in camp in the wilderness. You can see your own comitatus' crew pane on the left and the Mancio stock on the right. You can hire or dismiss crew as well as buy or sell beasts in the Mancio. Switch between crew and beasts with the buttons at the top of the top. The type of beast can also be changed here at great cost, but is locked in Pilgrim. It's a wasteland. Rumors can also be purchased here. These are bits of information, can unlock points of interest on your chart, tip you off on business opportunities, or give you hints on the storylines. Purchased rumors can be found in your journal under the rumors tabs. Passengers can sometimes be found in mansions. It's mansions, but I don't know, mansions? When taken to their destination, they reward you for your efforts, but often you have to reach a place within a time limit. Passenger consumption and potential crew combat strength is also shown here. Exchange news allows you to tap into local sources about the settlement you're in, which could be information people might pay for in other places. At the same time, you may also pass on the news you gather from elsewhere, providing a few coins. Lists of settlements you can carry news from can be found in your journal under the news tab. Okay. Let's trade some news. Also, I wanted to get rid of all these blue. No more blue. Blue is bad. Now, actually, I wanted to look at my journal. Rumors. On the rumor pane, you can find all the rumors you found or bought in settlements. Rumors are bits of information that can unlock points of interest on your charts, tip you off in business opportunities. Okay, we've already seen that. News. News tab lists all the settlements you have currently news from. Okay. News entries are worth some money each time you visit this change. New entries degrade over time, becoming less fresh, which means less valuable in general. You can refresh them in your maximum by okay. So we got a fresh one from this. Alright. Okay, so let's see here. So we have all of our people, of course. We could butcher them if we wanted, which would not what I really want to do. So let's see here. Our consumption would go up if we got another outrider. But our pay wouldn't go up. We'll leave it at that for now. We could buy or we could hire some workers or fighters and sell some. We could hire some beasts. Passengers. Middle-aged sage, Vitar. That's what you want to go, Vitrar? Maybe we can take you. So it's almost like we need more fighters to guard the camp effectively. So maybe we'll hire another fighter. Okay. Alright. Let's see here. So we can go to the temple, visit the slag fort, explore the city, go to the fighting pits. Let's explore the city. You walk the streets of the city under ashen skies, taking a few of your best with you. Avernum is a large city full of opportunities, but also untold dangers. One can find all sorts of interesting things that they look. Go for a walk and see what you can find. While spending some time visiting Avernum's several mancios, you meet a small group of water merchants up from north. You fall into conversation and find each other amicable enough to talk business. The merchants want to travel to Vitrar in a few days to broker a deal with Sadirar tribesmen who dwell there. They do not have a comatose of their own, and they ask you to take them there. Even though the Vitrar is not on your way towards the Ash, you can make a detour if it would be worth their while. Accept their offer. They will pay us one there now and another when you arrive. Yes. You walk the streets in the city under Ash and Sky. Oh yeah. Not today. So sweet. We got a 1 leer. I thought we got 1 leer. Yeah, that is a leer. Okay. Let's go to the fighting pits. There's a real arena in the Avernum, but no Imperial city could be imagined without at least a fighting pit. This one in the city is fairly large, however, recently has not seen a lot of fights in spite of public demand. You learn that no Anasta favors the place since a gladiatorial revolt a few months back, which left dozens dead and most pit fighters gone. Since then, the pit has been used for public executions only. That's about to change, however, as the new man in charge will see the place rise again. This might even give opportunity to have your companions fight in the pit, as they are given the chance to anyone right now. See, I got the medicos. Might be beneficial to your own crew. Fat medicos greet you with a smile. She's a disgusting character, but they'd say that she's really good with what she does. Patching up a bit of pit fighters. Yeah, sure. Let's bet on the fights. You're no expert, but you might get lucky. These bettings are over you. You know nothing about the Kessins, but you might get lucky. Okay, bet on the fight. You lose the fighters lose skirmish, their bloody soaking on the hands. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Into the roster. It might be risky, but it's worth it. Falco, the man in charge, shows you the fights are arranged each day. Because of the lack of the pit fighters and the gladiators, all kinds of people have joined the roster. Local thugs, orc mercenaries, and poachers. Even a few fellows who sends train Jacques into the arena. You can join the next fight here, but be mindful that it will progress the day afterwards. Fights can be attempted once, and if you lose, consecutive fights can be progressively difficult. Let's refrain from fighting for now, because I don't want to progress the day yet. Here's the Temple of the Ashkul. Temple of the Ashkul, king of the underworld, is a small one, but a necropolis around it makes up for it in size. The whole district is quiet and almost looks deserted. Yet the utter silence of the temple grounds really astonishes you. Glum-looking novices in grey tunics work without word. Robed priests whisper to each other in alcoves and in corridors. Reanimated undead shuffle towards some unsaid task. The inside of the temple looks like a crypt, too, with many wall slots for bones. Even the depiction of the god of death itself is a standing stone sarcophagus, inside which is a statue of a giant robed skeleton. Yet for all their gloominess, the worshippers of Ashkul tend to the dead dying with great care, and they're surprisingly open to question the requests from visitors such as yourself. Ask about the thing. You walk to the priest and ask about the bones embedded in the city walls. Are they maintained by the followers of the god of death, seeing as they are the remains of the long dead beings? Is Ashkul not angry because the bones were not put to rest? The expression on the face of the robed priest is inscrutable as he begins talking in a monotone, calm voice. The great king is not offended because not only do we tend to the bones, but they are considered to be resting. You see, those bones were brought here from the plains of bone, where they are lying for who knows how long, unattended, forgotten. Now they have a purpose. Those remains adorn and empower our walls. They might not be interred or burned to act. They were given a proper rituals, and the great king gave permission for their use. It's no different from the way we use corpses of those who give us permission, and of those, well, the enemies of the Empire, necromancy is used to strengthen the bones too, and the grim surprises await those full enough to scale or attack those walls. Yes, thank you. Visit the Great Ossuary. The Great Ossuary is a system of labyrinthine tunnels and great dark halls carved into the earth, the rock beneath the necropolis. Many of the more wealthy are interred here, as it is believed that they are closer to Tartarus and Ashkul this way. Many of the ossuary is off limits, but a large section can be visited by the public. You walk through the vast halls lit by thousands of candles and filled with the remains of tens of thousands. Most of these bones are carefully placed in the racks under the city walls, or intricately carved stone slabs. Novices tend to the more recent or oldest ones. The halls are kept very clean, and the air is cool inside. You find yourself sitting on stone benches and walking aimlessly, reading long inscriptions of names and deeds carved into the arches that lead to private crypts. The whole place makes you feel calm and contemplative. These effects are felt long after you've left. +2 insight. Nice. Buy some trinket blessed by the god of death. Unfortunately, we don't have enough money for that. Let's leave the necropolis. So you got the foundries. Avernum is a city of foundries and smelters due to its proximity in areas where ore can still be prospected or scavenged on the continent. Below the villa district, the streets and the walls and the central hill are stacked with metallurgist workshops and smithies, more than anywhere else in the city. The air is almost black with smoke that belches forth from many chimneys and furnaces. It's unbearably hot here, yet people flock here to do business, smelters and smith. What is your business here? Yeah, let's smelt down the arms and armor. The dead circulates. I get bronze and iron and we lose that. I wasn't done. Smelt metal scraps. Alright, let's smelt a large amount. Take my ingots. Why can I not take my ingots? Oh, because I'm full? Oh no. Well, what to do now? Can I split them? I guess not. Yeah, I guess not. Could smelt even more if I wanted, but I do not wish to smelt right now. Leave the foundries. Let's see, we need to sell some stuff. Consult the price history feature for known market prices. Where do that be? Oh, price history feature, nice. When selected, this option displays price differences on tabs compared to the pen list. Okay. So in Scrap Heap, we would have bought this for that, and we could sell it for that. What did we pay for our scrap? We paid 5 and 5 for it, and it would sell for 1, 4, and 3. That's a pretty good bonus, right? Make some money back. There we go. All right, now we've got a decent amount of money, I think, for now. I mean, I don't know how great it is, but guard animals, ooh. Hunting animals, ooh. So much cool stuff. Maybe. Go to the Temple of Surgarod. Temple complex of Surgarod is in Avernum is quite small compared to most imperial cities, but it's still a menacing sight to behold. Built on the dark stone, clearly not from around this place, the buildings are covered with spikes and blades reach toward the ashen skies. Furious-looking gargoyles, as well as sculptures of Surgarod in the form of a powerful warrior in spiked armor riddle the frontispiece. Inside, darkness covers all, but only red candles provide some meager light. Novices chant in the shadowed alcoves, their grumbling voices adding up to a constant angry prayer. A priest steps out of the darkness. What is it that you ask of Surgarod, the raging one, lord of vengeance and master of curses? A modest contribution to the church, and you shall receive power of retribution. Sure. Here. You ask the priest to grant you Surgarod's power, and you are deemed eligible. The priest begins chanting an angry prayer in front of the god's altar. A handful of novices join in. In a matter of minutes, the chant reaches crescendo, and the priest turns you, eyes ablaze with the raging dark energy. He reaches out and touches your forehead. An anxious, restless power, not unlike a cold rage, saturates you and gives you focus. For a long time afterwards, you feel as if you have the energy to do anything that seems to inspire your crew to. You gain the blessing of Surgarod. Temple complex of Surgarod in the Avernum. Yeah, we've already done that. Oh my, no. Lure the belongings. Oh yeah, I forgot. We give them the holy symbols only. Priest growl a short blessing and assure you that Surgarod will not forget the blessing and thank them before leaving. Ask you return to grant power in return for serving him. Okay, we've already done that. Ask Surgarod to curse your enemies. Name your enemies. You can't or don't want to name your enemies right now. I'm not going to inform them. sleeve. I like our guy. Sorceress. The Tower of Icanus, the sorcerer, stands at the border of the hill, overlooking the streets and alleys filled with foundries and forges on the northeast side of the Avernum. Half engulfed in a smog, the tower stands much taller than any building nearby. The soot-covered walls, made of black stone, are so smooth it looks almost seamless. A line of gigantic fang-like spikes crowns the flat top of the tower. You walk up to the iron gates, where you can see a large eye carved out of obsidian comes alive again and gives you a good stare before emitting a powerful, strange moan and becoming motionless again. The gates open slowly to reveal a spacious antechamber that you enter. The roof is supported by black, smooth stone pillars. Magical lights float sleepily around like fireflies. There are sofas and chains here, though, enough of a seat to grab a dozen guests in great comfort. Somehow the place feels odd. It is many times larger on the inside than it should be, judging from the outside. The imposing figure of Icanus stands motionless in the center of the antechamber and greets you in a monotone voice. You can't figure out if he's bored or simply lacks emotion in general, but he's courteous and very perceptive. You can only feel his piercing gaze from under the large hood of his crimson robe. There's something on your mind, Vagrus, something you'll hope will provide a solution for, and you'll know the price. Maybe he's interested in one of your items. We don't have any of these items. No, all these things that we don't have that it can tell us we can get, though. Don't have anything to sell right now. Tell me what you can have with the last pilgrimage. Sorcerer hesitates only a little before motioning with his long-fingered hand for you to sit down and comply. Something tells me you've had an encounter with this cavalcade of spirits. Tell me about it. As he says, he pockets your coins and sits you down himself. You carefully recite your chance meetings with the last pilgrimage. Every now and then the Icanus interrupts and asks you very specific questions about your experiences with the specters. He seems especially interested in your visions that triggered the undead procession was near. Icanus stays silent and motionless for a long while after you finish telling a story. At length, he stirs, and in his rasping voice, what is it you exactly want to know? Is it possible that they're following me? That is the question, isn't it? And Icanus scratches his scrawny beard with skeletal fingers. All information collected by the wise throughout the centuries, as well as the incidental accounts, tells us that the appearance of the pilgrimage is completely random, and there's never been anyone recorded who encountered them twice, not even madmen who were looking for them. So when you told me about the 2 times you've met the pilgrims, I was skeptical, yet I can see that you're telling the truth. The sorcerer clears his throat. There are 2 possibilities, I believe. One is it was indeed a chance, however minuscule, that you have happened upon them a second time. Chances of a third encounter are negligible. 2, they are roaming in a specific region, in this case, Arenas Negris, and because there is practically nobody in that region, they converge on the only living beings nearby, your comitatus. In any case, I'd avoided the desert of black sands and its border ranges for a while if I were you, and thank the gods you're surviving 2 such chance meetings. You're not planning to visit the dreadful place anyway. That's all. I don't want the whole video to be just me reading all the things, even though that is what the game is about. I want you guys to see a little bit of gameplay too. Gameplay, more traveling and stuff, perhaps. I'll leave for now. Can I check this while I'm here? I can. So they want me to go where? It was like Vitar or something. Where is it? I don't know. You'd think it'd be around somewhere. We'll find it eventually. Let's visit Sidarius. Sidarius' hideout is a tumble-down set of stone buildings about a block away from the Temple of Surgarod. You can reach it by going into an enclosed courtyard of several houses, entering the cellars and ascending a well-hidden set of stairs. There's always a novice or 2 down in the cellar on guard duty. The apartment of Sidarius is owned by the church, but few know of it even among the anointed. It is usually when they have something to hide, which is fairly rare, but it's not well furnished and quite dirty. The knight Sidarius usually sits at a decrepit table or paces back and forth like a black lion. Report to Sidarius. Let's just begin, Vagrus. There's no time to waste. You can almost hear Sidarius' teeth grinding as the 2 of you talk about the investigation. He's clearly on edge for being powerless while confined to this hideout of his. He begins explaining the situation after you sit down. When I arrived here on the request of the Order to root out the abolitionists plaguing the region, we assumed that they were no more than well-organized gangs lying ambushes on our travelers out in the wastelands. Perhaps some idealists and bored aristocrats in the city aided escaped slaves that joined their ranks, but nothing more. A nuisance. Now I'm absolutely sure that quite a lot of powerful people are involved in this whole mess, since they had the audacity and the resources to set a trap for my contingent. That required coordination between the slaves and the slave lovers. Therefore, I conclude that the people my initial investigation involved had to be in cahoots with the abolitionists. You need to find them, learn all you can about what they are hiding. Because we are dealing with powerful people, you need to apply subterfuge. There are 3 sources I want you to investigate. 3 targets are all close to the lead. Who's your first target? Our first suspect is the Assistant Magistrate Galadius Darrow. He's the one who signed my cohort when we took up the investigation in Avernum. Coordinated with local law enforcement and served as a mouthpiece for the prefectus and his magistrates. I have no doubt that he has been involved in some way. Getting to him would not be easy, but I figured something related to me and my contingent's fate would pique his interest. Therefore, I go to the slag fort and report to officials that you have information about my fate. That will almost certainly get you an audience with Darrow. Tell him that you've come across signs of battle and remains of Surgorodites up north. When he asks if there was neither the order among them, tell him no. You ask him what purpose this will serve other than alerting him and his fellow conspirators. Well, you do not have the power of a priest of Surgorod at your disposal, but you do have the next best thing. He says with a predatory smile and looks at Javik. Your friend stirs and seems uncomfortable. I can read his mind. The topic will surely divert his thoughts on the matter, making the scan much easier. Who's the second target? Next, we have the centurion Vardus Pindius, a drunkard fallen from grace. The old soldier was key to the lead we got on our initial investigation. He had been tasked with leading a patrol in the north reaches between Arenas Negris and the Molten Tongue. According to his report, they found tracks out in the rough terrain and followed them most to the Voiceless Lake. There they stumbled upon a sizable camp hidden in some ravines. They turned back because they were severely outnumbered, and Pindius knew the camp was either outlaws or a liberated tribe. But they were leaving, they got ambushed by these hostiles. Only 3 soldiers survived, but only Pindius made it back to Avernum. Conveniently. Sedarius frowns. Pindius is now enjoying his leave of duty. I need you to go to get him stinking drunk and definitely question him about these matters. I'm sure that his report is completely false, but he may let slip who made him lie in the courts. He is a regular at the Rusty Bugio, who's the third target. Finally, there's the Smelters Collegium. Word is that they run half the city, especially its criminals. They are not directly involved in the plot, but whoever armed the abolitionists must have done it through them. Also, whatever the damned slave lovers take from the comitada they fall victim to them has to go through the city's black market, also run by the Collegium. They never talk to a Segorodite, but they would talk to you. See what you can learn from them, but be prepared to be clever or they'll get suspicious. Sedarius puts a copper coin on the table. This should be more than enough for bribes. Use your guile, or your sorcerer's telepathy, or whatever, I don't care. Just glean from them as much as you can for the abolitionist contracts in one of the cities. One of their headquarters is called the Tavern of Gallows Anvil. Oh, now we know everything. Asking about the Knights of the Black Sun. I'm going to do these to get this, but I'm going to let... Oh, it's actually really short. Never mind. They were the Black Suns with the Fulcimus's Imperium. You know, as adherents of the Surgorod and Ashkul, we are the best of the Empire. Force of the Empire, hunting down criminals and traitors, guarding our great leaders, and leading military operations. Our judgments are law, and our fury is that of the Empire. Was there anything else you wanted to know? Yes, the other one that I can get. Details in the investigation again. I don't need to go over them. We just read them. Let's leave the hideout. Investigate. To spy on Assistant Magistrate? Yes. To your mild amusement, the plans that Arius came up with to lure the Assistant Magistrate works. Upon your arrival to Slagford, you tell one of the Kirk slaves in the service of the courts that you have news about Surgorod followers that you killed on the north. They've asked you to wait until he reports this to one of his administrators, where you can sit down with said bureaucrat. Kirk arrives to tell you that Assistant Magistrate Darrow will personally listen to your account. You're escorted to the officers on the top floor. Sorry. Started to die. You're told to knock and enter. Javik looks at you knowingly as he stands before the office door. Morwen is picking her nails. You knock and enter. Find yourself inside a spacious office with the small slit windows looking out into the courtyard of the slag fort. There's a desk here with scrolls stacked up on one side, and a few opened ones lying in the middle. Maps of the region are on the walls, and rows of shelves hold even more scrolls. A clerk slave busies herself with organizing these. A middle-aged man with a smile raises from his chair at the desk, his dark eyes and a receding hairline. Over his orange tunic is the sash of his office, blue and purple, the silver clasp holding it to his shoulder. He introduces himself as Galadius Darrow. My subordinates tell me you have news of a group of Surgorodites, that we are awaiting a court of such constitution back to the city, but we're beginning to be worried that something happened to them as of late. Perhaps you might have heard of them? So we don't know about this cohort of his. Odd that you came here right away without gathering news in the city first. I would have thought a Vagrus such as yourself as well informed. But oh well, I'm sure your patriotism got the better of you, because if I understand correctly, you're going to tell me bad news. He just towards the table. Yeah, tell him the fake story. Just start at the beginning. Clear your throat before starting. My comitatus was traveling scrap heap along the Molten Lake. We come to the Voiceless Lake. We saw someone to the east, shall we back and forth. We got rid of them and only to find bodies nearby. My scouts returned with news of dead bodies to the east of us. I decided to investigate carefully. Go on, Darrow says, scratching his head thoughtfully. Checked the bodies. There were a lot of undead, mostly with the smoldering variant. It was clear that they were a great battle there. The other bodies all belonged to the same group. They were all Surgorodites and their armed followers. A handful of them, badly mutilated by the undead. We checked and found some survivors. Took no belongings of the dead. I find it hard to believe with you in the situation, your occupation, the Great Valley of Metal Equipment holes. We do not wish to anger the god of vengeance. Conclude the story with telling him that you not come across any undead or Surgorodites living or dead or on your journey here. We've seen a knight among the bites, perhaps. Tall fellow, blonde hair, broad shoulders, dark armor, and quite an exquisite helmet. Fights with the great sword, Darrow asked freely. You telling me you did not find anyone among the bites such a description, even though you checked them fairly thoroughly. This magistrate thanked you and promises to bring you the report before your high-ups in the city, should they decide to further question you. Take your leave. Long after you've left, Side-Forward Diver tells you the plan works. Read his thoughts on the matter. It's clear that he knew much about setting up the trap. He got really upset when we told him Sidarius might be alive and well. He thought about his career and the prefect, but also reported someone called Envious as soon as he can. He turned the Mancio. Ho ho ho. Okay, let's go to his hideout again. Can I tell him? No. Okay. Let's go. I need to buy some supplies for sure, so. Yeah, supplies. It's 3 days. I need more. Sell those. It's 5 days. And we're like out of money now, okay. Let's go to the fighting pits. Into the roster. Shed the first blood. If your opponents with a pair of local thugs who like violence a lot have decided that being paid for in the pits is really the best thing that ever happened to them. They are called the Turgok brothers, even though they're not related. Waving their cheap weapons around, they manage to get a meager applause. The crowd, they follow up with swearing, which seems to into the fight. Your fighters into the pits. Oh, actual fight, nice. Begin, even though we're like really weak. I don't like being so weak. Yes, attack the man. I'm leaving him in the open so you can attack him. Oh, good job. Nice dodge. And then you hit me for a 4. That's awkward. I'll hit you for a 4 back. What up, son? You wanna like take your turn? You just keep beating on Javik here. Oh, Javik is out. Well, I lost. That was bad. We were very wounded, though, I guess. I'm surprised they don't heal more than that. Oh well. You pocket the coins, taking pains to heal. You guys need to heal. Yeah. Heal up, nerds. Oh no. Yeah, go do some jobs. Okay. Let's investigate the Restipegio. The Restipegio is a fairly clean establishment. The primarily soldier and veteran regulars. Because of this, not many Shadow fellows visit the place. It's not me, however, that the regulars are well behaved or sober. You can see a legionnaire passed out on a bench with a few auxiliary troopers playing dice games in the far corner, laughing and swearing foully. Sparman Ferdus Pindius is here, and he points you to a swarthy, short, pot-bellied man in his 40s, wearing the dirtier armor of a former centurion. His helmet rests next to him on the bar. Just next to him and buy him a drink. Grace Pinius eyes you suspiciously, but his alcoholism gets the better of him and he gives you a friendly smile. He takes it. What do I owe this gift, fellow soldier? You don't look like that to me, slurs his words as his eyes up and down. The two of you start to chat while Javik sits sitting at a table in line of sight. You know that you have to bring the conversation to the patrol. How much is it going to cost me? Yeah, just do that. Pindius was formidable resilience when it comes to booze. You managed to get him blind, stinking, and drunk. You also got the conversation to his notorious patrol in the north that he only just survived. Not even intoxication. I had fears when he talks about his recon missions. Not what you think it was. Those poor boys deserve not this. He laments. You swear he had tears in his eyes. Moans with the whole affair not being what it seems. And afterwards, you accuse yourself. you, John. Going back to the Mancio, where Jock tells you that mostly successful in reading the Drunkard's thoughts on patrol. He's clearly paranoid about the whole matter. He recalled his comrades killed, but not out there in the waste. But there was some kind of death trap in the large room. All young recruits, I think. They publicly set up his patrol only to kill off everyone but him and told him to pretend they got slaughtered by abolitionists in the north. Basically, they created a fake story to make our knight associate and his cohort think that they were finding a camp here. It boggles my mind how far they went to protect something. I kept thinking about Scoria, the district here in town. Maybe the massacre was done here. Done as part of investigation. Explore the city. Go for a walk. Neighborhood called Scoria is teeming with unfortunates and crooks. You come upon the scene in front of an inn. Several soldiers of the Avernus Legion are accosting a group of men who are trying to explain themselves. You briefly overhear the argument. It seems that your soldiers are pressuring these men, who are apparently loaders and haulers, to pay them for some slight to one of their comrades. Workers say there's no slight, but the soldiers are threatening them with arrest if they do not cooperate. Yeah, good luck. Fail. Your meddling annoys with party will tell you to leave. Ah, well, see ya. Nothing to do today. I am actually gonna go sell off my scrap metal. I want to be able to pay my people personally. And we'll get supplies before we leave, I guess. And we're not going to the fighting pits because, yeah, we're little babies. Our news every day that we can. Rest. Oh, we could pay for them to have like really good sleep and stuff. It's okay, just keep up with that. Try to work for me, friends. Oh, we'll make these guys, not them, work. And heal up, please. Critical success, nice. I didn't pay anybody. That was stupid of me. Ha! Oh well. Explore the city. Go for a walk. You happen upon a cruel scene while walking the streets. A crowd is gathered around a slave who is lying on the ground of plaza, beaten and bruised, begging for mercy. Apparently, the slave displeases his owner somehow and decided to punishment. He's watching from an alley as the lynch mob is preparing to stone the unfortunate man. Yeah, let's buy him. Take the beaten slave away with the plaza. He thanks you to point of annoyance. He promises to serve you the best of his. What are you going to do with him? Keep him. In the bottom of discount, he has to earn his keep. You walk the streets in the city under the ashen skies, taking a few of your best with you. Avernum is a large city of opportunities, but untold dangers. One can find all sorts of interesting things. Yeah, I've already read that. I don't know why I read it again. Next investigation point. Seek out the Smelter's Collegium and Gallows Anvil. The Collegium headquarters is in the large tavern called Gallows Anvil, right next to the bathhouse at the border of Scoria, and the streets full of the villa district filled with foundries and metallurgical workshops. This place is among the better ones in town, and the regulars are smiths, smelters, their novices, and merchants, all along with the Smelter's Collegium. It would not be difficult to find someone higher up in the guild to talk to them. Javik can scan whoever you talk to for surface thoughts, but asking for their possible connection to the abolition might raise suspicion. How do you want to approach this? Yeah, pretending you're a merchant wanting to deal in the black market. Two fellows, you and Javik end up talking to represent the Collegium, are quite open to you letting buy wares in the black market for a modest contribution to the guild. They do have some questions about how you learned about their involvement in the market, though. After you assured them it was from a business associate outside the cities, they seem to be content. They ask what kind of goods you want to buy. Yeah, tell them you heard of cheap copper they got from ill-fortuned Komatati. You're interested in that. Stuff gets redistributed in the wasteland, so to speak, explains one of them. A fellow with a bushy beard. Some of our associates find them and bring them to us. It's good stuff, too. Weapons, tools. We also prepare them and make them better. So you give us your order, what we're looking for, and our people will come to it. Tell them to think about placing an order before you leave town. Time to leave. Sorry, boss. It was very tough jumping between minds. Didn't get much apart from the sense that our nightly friend's suspicions was well-founded. They surely have dealings with the abolitionists, but protect their identities far more vehemently than that of us simple legal business partners. We could not get much except a glimpse of a street with a long yellow building when one guy was thinking about contacting their associates. That'll have to do, it seems. Report your findings on the 3 suspects. Finally, Sidarius says scornfully when you turn to them you're done with your investigation. There are a few other Sigurodites in the room watching silently. You recount everything you've learned in the past 2 days. Javik details his mental scans. They listen intently. Following reports, Sidarius goes behind closed doors with 2 priests of Surgorod and then a couple of executors while you're told to stay put for now. They emerge after a quarter of an hour and the executors leave right away. The knight approaches you with an uncharacteristic smile on his face. We've got him now, Vagrus. Thanks for the information you provided. We located the trader's headquarters in the city, a long yellow building with the district of Scoria and a man named Hanvius. Happens to be Gaius Hanvius, a wealthy merchant known to city official who is known to be conducting shady business in the name of the Prefectus. Owns a large yellow warehouse in Scoria. The whole block is abandoned, making it an ideal place for a hideout. It may not mean anything, John should say with a frown from Sidarius interrupts him. No, they're there. All of us can sense their treacherous stand. Sir Garad's servants are never wrong about such things. They say the way that it shuts up Jog for good. Bring your men to the Vagrus, ready to strike. Yes, it's my honor to serve the Empire. I just want him as an ally. The local temples send every able hand to set up an ambush on the warehouse, but you or help will be guaranteed nobody escapes. Seems you made yourself invaluable. Even the hideout you set out to the Mancio, you can see Javic's worrying signs. I don't like how this is going, boss. The thing we do right now is get involved with this conspiracy with the local underworld and city leaders, bandits, and damned fanatics all tearing each other apart with us in the middle. For the first time in a long while, I don't know what you're thinking. Just when you're about to say something, he goes on. You don't have to say anything, just know that this is how I see things now, and also that many fellows in the crew are thinking the same thing. We know there's little you can do to get rid of our nightly parasite at present, but keep in mind what we originally set out to do. Keep walking. To you return to the man so you can prepare for what is to come. End. We prepare for what is to come? Okay, let's... How do we prepare? Temple, slag fort, fighting pits, foundries, temple, warehouse, warehouse! You arrive at the rendezvous point set by Sidarius, accompanied by your fighting crew only. It's a few blocks away from the warehouse itself. It is an enclosed atrium of an abandoned house. A group of grim-faced and visibly anxious Surguradite novices gathered around several priests and executors. The Black Knight is also there, standing tall next to a wall, armed crossed, looking at his eyes thoughtfully. Everything happens fairly fast after we learn of the attack plan that involves the Surguradite surrounding the warehouse and blocking all exits, while a force of executioners and priests attack from two sides. In the meantime, you take your companions and Sidarius to the third rear door in the alley and deal with the ones that remain. I set up immediately. Following Sidarius, you go around the blocks. Ended up behind the warehouse. Attack commences as planned, with novices rushing onto the streets. You group into the back alley to hear shouts and painful cries. The main force must have entered the warehouse. You don't even make it to the back door when it bursts open, but several armed men rush out. We fight! Who are you? Guys are little babies, weaklings, but go! Fight win. Don't attack her. She's innocent. I like buffing you. Block for 0. You're bad. Executioner of Surgorod. You just gonna go to sleep, girl. Vengeance. Buff him up entirely. So what do you got? You got smashing blow, shield push, and shattering blow. Shattering. That armor to go down. Buff you up too. Maybe you'll have a chance to not get taken out. Maybe. There you go. Nice 5 hit there, buddy. I'm gonna try to take this one. Perfect. Sit down, son. Defense was block. Let's start taking away some armor. Hey now, you're in the wrong spot there, friend. There we go, now we can switch. I was like, I'm trying to figure out how to get him to switch, because I know I could. This guy's just a beast mode, man. A crit for 4, wow, what a crit. What a crit. Good night. Victory is ours. We're gonna see how this plays out and then end the episode. We're stretching into the hour mark again. You're quickly finishing off Stragos and gather your team after the skirmish when a wounded priest stumbles out of the back entrance. Panic is the warehouse cleared out, but a group of the abolitionists managed to break out and escape to the rooftops to the south. Sidarius beckons you to follow and you start running. You catch up with the fleeing foes. You descend them from a low building's roof onto the abandoned street. One of them, an archer, spots you and lets loose an arrow. Pierces the throat of one of your fighters, stumbles to the ground. Sidarius charges ahead with a war cry. Your group and theirs clash. Brutal fight commences. Another fight, eh? Just want to say that I don't have a lot of people left. Ha! Okay, quit stabbing me. I need to make this guy like super tank mode. Go in on him. We did not heal very much is my problem right now. Vengeance. No, no, no time. Get them both. Oh, good night, sweet prince. Oh, nice dodge. You're in the front row now. You're in the wrong spot, my friend. Try to bring her up to the front, even though it does put her in danger. Just doing the damage we can here. Oh, nice dodge. You actually missed. I don't think you actually dodged. I think you just missed. I mean, this man will take them all himself. Nice job. Slowly taking them out. Nice. Huge. 14 and 11, huh? Oh, well. But that didn't feel good. And then you crit me. Uh-oh. And then you hit for 1. 1 is not the good hit, my friend. We need to hit harder than 1. Hey now. Get up. Snag him. Nice crit. Solid effort. Trying to pile in the damage here before they can get even more attacks on these people. Yeah, yeah. Nice shot. Nerd. Good night, sweet prince. Get that one. Oh, how about not? A 6. And a 6. Hey, we'll take it. Easy peasy. Not even close. Not even close. Though clearly wounded, the archer managed to get away. Her men sacrificed themselves to save her. There's no point in trying to catch her on your own. Your companions are fairly bruised themselves. You trudge back to the warehouse, now secured by the Sigorodites. The streets are grim sight. Bodies or parts of them lie everywhere, mostly abolitionists, but quite a lot of novices too. An executioner reports to Sidarius. Apparently all but a handful of the enemy was slain. Well, they lost a priest, 2 executioners, and a dozen novices. In spite of that, it is clearly visible that they were elated by the bloodshed. They've also taken a prisoner who's being questioned. It's testified by the painful cries. I say nothing. Pitiful cries and sobs escalate shortly after Sidarius enters the warehouse, only turning silence after a few minutes, and the knight returns months later. Sometimes you got what you wanted. Sacred God is with us, Vagrus. We've struck a major blow to the enemy. Judging from the contraband of this building, those abolitionists have been smuggling goods they took from the Comatata and other travelers for years now. The tunnel they dug under the wall that connects to the warehouse confirms this. Our prisoner was kind enough to tell on his friends, though. There are 3 camps in Arnias Vorax where they're direct their attacks from, each no more than a several days' travel from Avernum to the south and east. Our next move is to strike those camps now that their operations in the city is eliminated. Their supporters and allies will lay low for quite a while after today's show of force. He pauses, looking at you through his gaze. I've decided that I will join your comitatus, and you'll help me seek out those camps. I may go along with this, but judging with the promises now. There's a hint of indignance in the Black Knight's voice as he speaks. The moment we capture their leader and that archer bitch, you'll get your reward, as well as the eternal gratitude of my order, or are you doubting my words? Underlying this point, several Sigurodites move closer to you in your commands. All of a sudden, the alley feels very crowded. You do not wish to defy the will of Sigurd, do you, Vagrus? Should you do so, a terrible curse will be placed upon you and your crew. This Geas will not be lifted until I say so. Consider your comitatus commandeered until this business is finished. From this point onward, you and your crew are always accompanied by Sigurodites. Javik says nothing, so almost as you can feel his ire. Is it directed at you? For better or worse, your fate seems times to that of the abolitionists. Before you leave the side of the brutal fight, Sidarius turns so that you know your valuable your aid is to the Empire and its tireless servants. I want you to know this. I hereby value in the name of Sigurd that you aid me in eliminating the threat of these abolitionists capture their leader. I shall set you free from the services and see to it that you are handsomely rewarded. The eye has a constipated look, like someone has a really hard time admitting something through his throat. Now, I hope this suffices. Go and see your business quickly. So we set out as soon as we're able. You take your leave and trudge back to the mansion with your companions, bruised and bone tired. A platoon of Circuit executioners are to guard the end by the time you get there, packed and ready to leave the Avernum with you. Ugh. We're all so sleepy, though. Pay them. Do some jobs. You know, everybody have a good night. Well, I think that's gonna do for this episode, and I think it's given a pretty good understanding of the game. If you guys want to see more of this, I'll totally continue it. But let me know. See you guys in the next one. Peace. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. If you've got anything to say, go to the comments below, and if you haven't yet, hit that subscription button and the bell. If you want to see more, check out this video down here. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.